What the fuck is up, Abyss Walkers? This is Corey Gorechrist. Just want to say thank you to Payson of Two Mold for taking the time to do this interview. Planetary Clairvoyance is out. Stream it, love it, buy it, and check out Two Mold when they come to your city. And support horror and death metal. Also check out Body Bags. It's merch by Payson on Instagram. Definitely check them out. And thanks to Payson once again. And stay fucking gory, guys. Enjoy.
You are listening to FANTASM, the podcast that sews horror movies and metal together, with your host Corey Gorechrist and Dr. Vincent West. Get your movie collection ready and follow along as they review the latest restoration of cult classic horror films and interview the sickest bands in metal.
Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal!
Corey Gorechrist, FANTASM Podcast. I'm here with Payson of Two Mold. So glad to have you on, man. We've been trying to work this out for a while now, so it's good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And first time we spoke, you were going to Psycho Las Vegas. Talk a little bit about that show you guys played.
Oh, yeah, so we played at the House of Blues in Las Vegas, and it was friggin' awesome, man. I had a great time. It was a pretty early slot, but it was pretty packed, and it was great. It was super pro. The DIY ethic has kept us in a lot of like smaller venues, I suppose,
Right.
like, where we initially played. So it's just kind of surreal to play venues where it's like,
Yeah.
people come out to help you set up, and then you're set up in like 2.5 minutes and ready to go. So, but it was really cool. People seemed into it. We got to see some great bands that weekend. Saw Carcass that same night.
Oh, yeah.
I'd never seen Carcass before, so that was incredible. I can't believe those guys do what they do with Les Pauls without whammy, like no whammy bars, no tremolo system, just Bill Sears just going off. Les Paul Jr.'s no less.
Yeah.
Smaller fretboards. And then we saw Misfits at like, that was something else. Like, It was great, but it was terrible, but great.
Terrible. Yeah. But, you
it was. I had a really fun time. It was like a lot of like more mainstream bands too, and it was just such. I'd never been to Vegas, sort of a surreal place.
Yeah.
As a Canadian, you go there and there's no windows or clocks anywhere, and I don't gamble or drink, so
yeah,
it was just kind of weird. And you go outside and you're like dying in the heat, so it was super weird. But I'm actually looking forward to going back just as a tourist. It was pretty sick.
Yeah.
I might go to Psycho if the lineup's sick. I had a good time this time, so why not?
Yeah. It's culture shock, I guess, for you, and
Little bit, yeah, but I actually thought it was pretty awesome. We did a few shows in California after we did San Diego.
Yeah.
And Los Angeles.
Yeah, LA's nice.
One more. And Oakland with Mortuous.
Oh,
we're
nice.
all really big fans of.
Yeah.
So we had kind of shoehorned that gig in.
Right.
It was like a little bit out of the way, but we really wanted to play with them, so.
And you guys had a good time.
Great band.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, it was sick, man. I liked LA a lot, so.
Yeah, I did too.
A lot of iconic horror movie locations there. I spent, I think I spent $200 American dollars on Ubers that day. Just
you will going just to LA anyway if you're trying to go to all these places. I mean, you're gonna spend some money.
Yeah, I had like 6 hours, and I had actually won a fair amount of money on a Jurassic Park slot machine in Vegas. So I was like, fuck it, I might as well just go to the Myers house and the
the Pasadena
Bush, Halloween. Yeah, South Pasadena, right next to the bush where I took the photo. Actually, the woman who lives there came out and took the photo for me, so that was pretty sick. Because there was
amazing.
No street traffic, no foot traffic that day, and I was kind of panicking who was going to take my picture. Yeah. But I walked down the street and I recognized the house, and it was Pee Wee Irvin's house.
Mm-hmm.
It's right beside it. I was totally, and I'm not expecting that, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
To just sort of stumble upon. I mean, I love stuff from movies. I got kicked out of Nakatomi Plaza. I didn't really Fox Plaza is it's actually called, but I went in and they weren't feeling it. I thought it'd be fine. I just went and started taking pictures, and they were like, "You can't be here." Like, you left the door open.
Now, to you, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? A lot of people are in half of that.
I mean, I can see both sides of the debate. I think some people get like a little too invested in it, but I will say, I would say yes because I watch it at Christmas. You know, if I want, like, I don't watch Die Hard in July, so I watch Die Hard in December.
Right.
So for me, yeah, but like the overarching Christmas theme is not really there. But
right.
I do watch it every December, so for me, I guess it is, yeah.
See, if movies for me have anything to do with Christmas, like at all, I don't like watching them any other time.
Oh my God, yeah! If I hear a Christmas song in any month other than December, I'm losing it.
Even if it is Christmas and Hollis, I'm still just like, I can't do Die Hard right now.
Yeah, totally. No, I'm the same. I'll go through like my downloaded films or whatever, and I see Muppet Christmas Carol, and I like shudder. But then in December, I'm like, oh hell yeah!
Yeah, like Gremlins is the same thing. It's got
Gremlins is a Christmas movie for sure, man. There's a lot. Gremlins is pretty Christmassy, though. I've seen people say, "Oh, Gremlins isn't a Christmas movie." It's like, you're fucked. That movie is. I can swear on this, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, word, cool. Yeah, no, that's totally a Christmas movie. Preposterous that people would disagree about that one.
Yeah.
But Die Hard, yeah, I can see the debate, but yeah, I went to the building and they weren't thrilled, so I left. And actually, the band, we played some shows with this black metal band called Mork.
Oh, I love Mork, dude. They're really good.
Yeah, so they were really great guys.
Yeah.
And we rolled up to the LA show. We played at the Catch One in LA.
Okay.
And we got out of the van, and they were, "Oh man, what'd you guys get up to today?" And I was like, "I got kicked out of Nakatomi," and they were like, "So did we." So I guess they had the same idea. They thought they'd just strut in, and the security was like, "Get the hell out of here." So
yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. They must get that a lot because that is as iconic a building as you can visit.
Yeah.
You know, from film, like.
Sure.
I went to the Myers house and the Nightmare on Elm Street house.
Yeah.
1428, I believe is the address. Yeah, I went there. And I mean, I'm sure those people are annoyed too, but I figured Die Hard building just wouldn't give that much of a shit, but they were not stoked. But anyway, yeah, that was just one of the places I went. Yeah, LA was cool. I want to go back and see a bunch of other cool stuff.
Yeah, man. You know, there's so much to do out there too. It's just really cool.
Oh, tons. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had a really good time.
Yeah, and I went to, I should have went inside, but I was kind of just, you know, when I went to LA, I went to it was like a Ghostbusters fan fest thing, so they had, you know, like the cast there and all kinds of shit. It was nuts. It was at the
nice.
The Sony lot, so that's cool just being there. So much shit was filmed there.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's legendary stuff. I mean, that's Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies. When I got to New York, I flew into Newark, and then I took the train to Grand Central, and then I was just like, all right, Ghostbusters Firehouse, let's do it.
Yeah.
I think it's Hook and Ladder 8, I think. But yeah, I went right up there, and, you know, the dude was sweeping outside, and he's like, you could tell I was a fan. He's like, "You want to come in and touch the sign for Ghostbusters 2?" And I was like, yes. So it was awesome, man. But yeah.
But walking
that's
back.
Pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, walking back from the theater that they played, you know, they played the movie the first night, and walking back, you pass the hotel, you know, that was like the Sedgwick Hotel, essentially. It's like the Biltmore or something, and they have the ballroom from the movie, like the interior of that in it, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Slimer's first appearance.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was cool as shit.
Pretty sick. Yeah, that's awesome.
And you know, I met Dan Aykroyd, which was insane because he's like my favorite person. So that was
yeah, he's awesome. He's a very eccentric guy. I watched a documentary that he made on UFOs probably 15 years ago. I remember I was on the way to Quebec City to see a show, and I had that on my laptop, and that was interesting. But I do know he has very interesting, specific names and all the things in Ghostbusters, like all the devices.
Yeah,
he has them all named, and they all have their own, you know, things they do. Like, it's just very more involved than I had imagined as a kid, right? So I watched him speak about that stuff once. I thought that was pretty cool because I was obsessed with like PKE meters and proton packs as a kid. You know, the idea of the nuclear accelerator. It's just so cool in the trap. So yeah, he's awesome.
And actually, a lot of that stuff scientifically is like pretty accurate. Of course, it's not.
Yeah, it would
exactly.
shock me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
he's got like two. I think he's got a tank or two in his backyard.
Yeah. He's just a cool
interesting.
motherfucker.
Another Canadian legend.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
He's cool as shit. Well, before we get back into all the cool nerd shit, we'll talk about Planetary Clairvoyance a little bit. Came out back in July. You guys have pretty much taken off since, honestly. There's a lot of attention from you guys, and I really enjoy the album, and I've been a fan since early on, so it's good to see you guys catching ground.
Yeah, people seem to enjoy it, and that's great. We're all pretty thrilled with the response. It's really cool, and it did come out pretty quickly after Manor, but that's just, sometimes you just got to roll with the punches, and Derek had written a lot of songs, and we were all down to, work on them together, and Max is a machine, our drummer vocalist, so, you can throw a riff at him, and he'll have this insane drum beat in seconds. He's just kind of a savant with these death metal drum patterns. So, it came together pretty fast, and I do think it's a lot more polished than the last one, but we definitely, worked really hard on it, it was a real, very intense 3 months or so as far as, jamming and writing solos and stuff, so I was working on it every day, because I love Manor, but there's parts that I think could be better. On my end, I don't want to criticize anyone else's performance, but so I think for Planetary, I was really focused on knocking it out of the park. We all were, for sure, but I definitely got a little isolated as far as writing my leads and whatnot, and I was a little more careful recording, and a little more concerned about the tone, and I think the album comes off a bit clean, not too clean, but cleaner.
Yeah.
I listen to Manor, I still love it, but it's they're different beasts for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But yeah, people seem into the record. It's good, yeah. I feel it feels like it's been out for longer than a few months, weirdly enough.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people dig it. I've seen already, and including mine at least, it's on a lot of people's top albums of 2019. So it's been. Yeah,
thanks, man. Yeah, we're pretty stoked on that. Decibel put up their top 40, and we were number 5, which is pretty cool. We're in some pretty good company. I think a couple of my favorite records are on there too. I really loved that Crypt Sermon record.
Yeah.
Cool to see that on there. That's great. I mean, that record sounds awesome. And then obviously that Blood Incantation record.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
Next level.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's good. Yeah. I liked Star Spawn, but I think this was the one where I was like, wow. And I just saw 3 of us we went to see them live. They came here with Immolation. They just played here, and man, they're killing live. So pretty cool to finally see them. Great band, so that was sick. And that's one of my favorite records of the year, amongst a few others that stood out that were pretty sick. But those were the ones that were on the list with us that were pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great. I was totally honored to be on that list. I think we were number 17 or 18 last year, so that's up to number 5. That's pretty cool. But I mean, my head exploded last year when they said Manor was on there. I wasn't expecting that at all, so pretty wicked.
Yeah, man, and let's talk about some of the tracks here on Planetary. Just what are some of the ones that really stick out you like playing live on there?
Oh, the middle of the record, the 2 songs, we play them both live. We have taken the opening with Infinite Resurrection. That's the...
Oh, yeah.
Is that the second song on the record? Sorry, my mind
4th song. Yeah.
4th song, after the interlude. Yeah, my apologies.
No, you're good.
Infinite Resurrection and Accelerated Phenomena are my 2 favorites.
Yeah, they're great.
And Derek wrote the lyrics to Infinite, and Max wrote the lyrics to Accelerative, so it's cool. I feel like they're kind of weird companion pieces to each other. It's really like the meat and potatoes of the album, not to sell any other part of the record short, but I feel like that's they're both crazy songs. Infinite kind of came together at the last minute, but yeah, I love that song. I think it's got a real good hook, and that was a song where I've been playing guitar for quite a while, but I'm like a bit of a shredder in the fact that like I play a lot of trem picking, a lot of notes really fast, but like my weakness has always been playing like slow and making it sound good.
Yeah.
Like I can play a lot of notes fast and it's cool, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. That was the first song where Derek was like, "Hey, you should do a lead maybe at this part." And I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of slow." But then I was like, "This is my chance to write a lead that doesn't sound like everything else I've done." And I wrote something. It took a long time, and I'm super happy with it. So I'm always really happy live to get to that part and play it.
Yeah.
You know, it feels good. And it was kind of like a little bit of a accomplishment for me because it was something you'd asked me like 5 years ago. I was like, I don't know if I can write a good solo that's melodic and slow. So, yeah, I was stoked about that, and that was a really fun one to record, too. Derek's solo at the end of that song is the harmonized one. It kind of sounds like it's probably my favorite part of the whole record, the last like 30 seconds of that song. Derek's solo is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Just sort of takes off. It's really like this soaring lead. Max's vocals are double-tracked under it, too, so it's just super powerful at the end.
Yeah.
And that was a song that I liked, and I didn't love it till I heard it finished recorded. Do you know what I mean? It was, if you had asked me during the recording, like, I would have been like, yeah, it's good. You know, it's a good song. But, like, when it was done, I was like, God damn, that song's sick as hell. Yeah. And then the next one, Accelerative, is quite long. But it's got the opening riff, it's the closing riff, which I always really like if it's done properly. There's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on between the two.
Yeah. And
then me and Derek both have leads at the end of that song. And I love the last minute of that song or so. And that's a song where a lot of, we play in drop B. There's a lot of, like, open notes in that one. Like chuggy parts. And that's the one where there's a part that Steve kind of dictated where Max's vocal should go. There's a breakdown near the end that's like pretty dumb, like real knuckle draggy. And Steve had this idea. He's like, Max, you should punctuate your vocals with the sort of the stabs that we're doing on guitar. We're like chugging and then hitting the 6th, 5th, and 8th frets. So Steve, our bass player, was like, oh, you should do the vocals here. And when that was done, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So it sounds crazy. It just sounds so fucking monstrous. So that was a good call. It was one of those like studio magic kind of golden mistake type things where Steve was just like at the last minute, like, why don't you put your vocals here? And it worked. Those two I'm really happy with. I love the whole record, but the middle is what we've taken to playing live too. And yeah, those are really fun songs to play. We played them all on we did a couple tours this year, and we played both those, I think, pretty much every show. Yeah. Usually open with Infinite and close with Acceleratives. Or we played second last. But, yeah, man. That's two of the songs. I can talk about other ones if you'd like, but...
Yeah, I mean, you know, I love Cerulean Salvation's good, and...
that's a very different song for us. I think that was the first one that Derek when he showed us, we were like, different. You know, the intro is very melodic.
Yeah.
A little subdued. Derek loves Cynic, and I think you can definitely hear that in that song. I feel like that's our most sort of like maybe accessible song as far as that kind of thing goes. His melodies in it are really strong and kind of punchy.
Yeah.
It does get super heavy, I feel like, by the end. That's a song I have a tapping solo in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another one of my favorite parts of the record because I was just really stoked to hear that finished. And it took a lot of tries because I really wanted to get it as fast as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And it sounds nuts. That part's the tapping part's super fun to play live, but I gotta watch Max when I do it because it's very easy to lose my place, and then I can fuck the whole song up if I do it wrong. But yeah, that's a cool song. That came out. That was one of the first two songs written for the record. Came out on a tape that we did with the song Planetary Clairvoyance. So those were the first two tunes written for the album. And I initially, I don't think we were even going to put Cerulean on the record, but that was sort of going to be like the extra song on the tape, but we all were pretty attached to it and fit in really well right near the end, especially going into that last song on the record, Heat Death. Mostly the predominant instrumental, so.
Yeah, I just love the whole flow of it. It's really, you know.
The flow is nice. I think it flows better than Manor for sure. Not that Manor feels more like a collection of songs. This feels more
Right.
like one kind of long song. You know, and a lot of my favorite records are feel like, you know, one kind of long song. So I'm quite happy to
Yeah, exactly.
to have a record that really flows like that. I do think it works well. I think, no, totally.
And the artwork I love too of it. Who did the art?
Oh, the art was amazing. Yeah, both the insert and the album cover are just wild.
Yeah.
We saw the album cover. Funny enough, the artist Jesse Jacoby. He goes by a Pit of Bones on Instagram. There's a lot of art like that. If anyone wants to follow him, it's sick. But he sent us what he had done for the cover, and he was like, "Yeah, I still have a ton of work to do." I forget. I think he had a number. He was like, "Once they put 20 more hours on, it'll be done," or something. And we were all like, "Dude, this already looks done." Like, if he had told me this was the finished product that he was showing us, I would have been like, "Great."
Yeah.
So definitely an insane amount of work went into that cover.
Yeah.
And it looks crazy. So, and I feel like it's kind of like a nice, again, with the companion thing, it's kind of a nice companion to Manor, where Manor's a lot of bright, kind of, you know, gross orange and brown colors. And this is more cool tones with, you know, the green logo and then all blues and black. So they look cool together for sure. They have similar composition as far as like the way the layout is done.
Yeah.
And then all the insert stuff for Planetary was done by Shogath Kinetics. His name is Lucas, and he did a ton of work for us we sent him the lyrics, and he did a lot of drawings based on the words, and they came out fantastic. There's a couple that we've actually used a couple, sort of cannibalized them in a way to make T-shirts.
Yeah.
But there's a couple that are just incredible, man. That they could, like, it's almost a shame we couldn't have we did have a booklet for the tour version of the LP, where it was like the first 200 copies, or our 200 copies came with this book that we had made, and his art's a little more featured in that. But there's a couple small squares from the LP that I almost wish were just inserts on their own, just because the art is so bonkers.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we're very happy with the package, like how it looked. I think it came together really well.
Yeah, that's why it's important, you know, still buy physical media and stuff, because they put so much work into it, and
oh, absolutely,
that's one of the best parts, you know.
Yeah, I grew up buying CDs and tapes.
Yeah, me too.
I'm 34.
Yeah.
And my first, couple records and things were all CDs. So when I got into punk, and metal, the idea of, buying a used Metallica LP on eBay or whatever, I was in love with just even I had a shitty record player, but it was just so cool to get a record and look at it. I remember I bought a Hyrax LP band, and I was just in love with it, man. It was so much cooler than just like a tape or a CD. It had this giant. You just listen to it and just stare at the cover.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'm not a big fan of picture discs, and I think picture disc was the way. My Napalm Death Scum was a picture disc, and so were the only Cannibal Corpse LP I had, I think, maybe Eaten Back to Life, was a picture disc. And I remember being annoyed because, the record looked cool, but didn't have an insert, just
can't read anything,
felt like a little bit. Yeah, it was like a little bit of a cop-out. So it was always cool to get like a record with a really great package, like a Neurosis LP or something like that, where it felt like I could dissect the record for days as I listened to it. So, to put our record out, if anyone, we put that tour booklet out, and the idea of like a 17-year-old flipping through that book and being stoked on it is the exact kind of thing that I'm really thrilled about.
Yeah.
I had a good time on tour, actually, talking to a lot of younger people who were coming to the shows, and just reminded me a lot of myself, people that were just not jaded, just stoked on music, and you give them recommendations, and they take it with their phone and write it down, and it was just cool. It's kind of thing, and it's very inspiring too, because sometimes it's easy to forget, how much you used to really, before you really knew a lot about music and you wanted to learn. It was just like this. You were just starved for this stuff. So
it's different now too.
I'm sorry?
So it's different now, too, because, you know, I used to
Yeah.
just read magazines. Before I even heard the band, I would be like, oh, they look pretty cool, and, you know, you'd see their album covers and stuff. You just buy an album based on its cover, like, oh, that looks sick, you know. And
I did that with Cradle of Filth and Iced Earth.
Yeah,
These
fucking
bands,
Iced Earth.
Those are bands I had never heard them. You know, I think even the first In Flames record I bought, I probably would have bought the CD at the time. Same with Mr. Bungle.
Yep. I love that.
And that
cover.
was I knew it was one of the guys from Faith No More who I liked.
Right.
You know, and the cover just looked. It was that album California, and the cover was just so kind of like normal that I was like, I need to hear this record. Like everyone told me this band is crazy, and that was before I couldn't go to YouTube, or I couldn't even go to like it wasn't even on Napster.
Yeah,
or
the internet wasn't a source yet.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, I remember downloading a song like "Twisted Massive Burnt Decay," you know, and I downloaded it off LimeWire, and it took 3 days.
Yeah.
I'd get home from school like Wednesday afternoon and be like, oh man, I hope that Autopsy song is done. Like that'll do. Now kids are like experts on this stuff, which is great. I think. I mean, it's cool. The only issue I'd have with it is that sometimes you can sort of move really quickly through media in today's day and age.
Yeah, you don't really. It seems like you don't have time.
I'm sorry?
It seems like you don't have time. Like people just discover so much shit at once now.
I just remember obsessing over stuff, you know, like, because that's all I had. I would spend $30 on a CD, or I'd order a record, you know, for even more money. I had to send money orders on eBay to buy records, or I'd send them to, like, punk labels in the States or whatever, or I'd buy, like, a, you know, Ramones or Megadeth reissue, you know. I remember buying, like, So Far, So Good, So What off eBay, and just because I hadn't heard that, and I hadn't heard it. Like, I had the Rust in Peace CD, and I loved it, but I hadn't heard the first couple. My buddy lent me the tape of Killing Is My Business. Like, I still remember how blown away by Mechanics I was. I was like, "Whoa, dude, this is Four Horsemen! Like, what the fuck?" But I couldn't even look it up on the internet at the time. So, but it was fun. It was like kind of like discovering things at your own pace like that. It was really cool. And then, of course, everyone has like things they miss. There were like lots of bands I didn't hear till I was older. You know. I always tell my friends, like, I didn't even listen to Misfits till I was 20, because a bully I didn't like at school had a Misfits hoodie, so I just assumed the band was shitty. And when I heard it, I was like, this is amazing! Like, I can't believe how good this is. Like, I thought this band was gonna suck because that guy, you know, used to punch me in the head all the time.
It's like, fuck that
guy.
Yeah,
true.
It's like,
yeah,
but the band's alright, you know, but I can see that where I just wouldn't even fuck with it for a while.
Yeah, oh, totally. It was the kind of thing where when I finally did get to it, I was like, whoa. I mean, I'm sure it's happened to people with bands like Black Flag, too, where they're just sort of like, listen to this big band, it's probably stupid or whatever. They discover it and end up actually really liking it. Same with early Metallica or early Megadeth or, you know, any of those bands, you know. I knew of Metallica from, like, Enter Sandman, and then I bought Load or something, you know. I didn't know how good they were for a few years. You know, same with Megadeth. My mom liked the song Symphony of Destruction, so then I had to work backwards from there.
Yeah.
And a lot of those bands would have members of other bands, and then I remember seeing Death music video on, like, our Canadian music station. They had, like, a metal show that between, like, 12 and 1 a.m. on Saturday, and I would watch it, and if I could stay up, and that was where I heard Death, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, you know, so yeah, but it's definitely different now, but I still think it's cool, and, like, I kind of wish I'd heard a lot of these bands when I was younger, than I actually was, you know, but I guess it doesn't matter.
Right.
End up at the same place every time.
In the digital age now, and you know, I don't know how different it is. You know, I keep up with stuff as much as everyone else, but it was just, you know, going from having things like MTV when it was cool, or any kind of, you know, TV that would actually play blocks of, like, music videos to get stuff out there, because you would have
totally.
You would have that, then you would have, you know, the record store, so you can actually physically see CDs and pick them out and listen to them there, or you have the magazines to kind of do it. Now you kind of have more of you know, I guess on the internet it's the same kind of thing, where if you get into one thing, you can kind of see everything else kind of laid out.
True.
And word of mouth, too. And you have access to the music videos, which lead you to, you know, suggestions to all these other bands. So I guess, in a way, it's kind of more accessible, you know, but...
Yeah, it's more accessible for sure, but, you know, I guess it's just a slightly different time. I mean, I think it wasn't until I didn't know, I think the Death video I saw as a kid that I liked was Lack of Comprehension.
Yeah.
From Human.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when Paul Masvidal was in the band.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, and then I heard Cynic much later. And then I went back and Death. Oh shit, Paul Masvidal was on this. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It was a lot of members of things is how I discovered bands as a kid too. Right? It was the same as you hear a band like Terrorizer and see who was in it. You know, it was pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's definitely different now, but it's still cool. And I talked to a lot of really cool young kids when we were on tour that, you know, just you know, you can just see the passion. Metal inspires the passion in people that you don't see in every kind of music.
Right.
You see it in a few, but there's something about metal. Metal's sort of in a weird class of its own. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but you have these people coming up at the show, and it's just these metal bands just consume. It's like they live it. You know, some guy comes up to me at some show we played in. Oh my God, I don't even remember where. Somewhere in the Midwest, and he's like, "Oh, I drove up with my son from Florida, and you know, he bought our CDs or whatever and took photos with us." And he's just like this total, you know, metal warrior. He's just traveling everywhere, just to see these bands. You know, he's like, "Oh, I heard your records and I saw your plans, so I wanted to come see you." And it's cool too. And for the you know, people always assume, oh, metal is scary or whatever, you know, like my coworkers and my parents and stuff. Well, my parents are pretty cool about it, but, you know, you meet some of the nicest people at these shows. It's wild, you know, and you have a lot in common with them, so it's pretty sick. And it's always humbling to have someone come up and be like, hey, I spent money on your music and I love it. Like, that'll never get old for me.
Of course.
Know? Especially as, like, a guy, like, I had a moment that I was really thrilled about. These two guys came up when we played Maryland Death Fest.
Yeah.
And took, we were like setting up on stage, and they took photos of my pedal board, which is nothing special. It's just 5 pedal blades for 2 volt. And I was like so happy because I was like, I'm that guy. Like, I've done that for so many. I've gone to see so many bands and just walked to the stage before they started, just like put my phone up and just snapped a picture. I still do it if I can. You know, when we were watching Immolation, I was just like, I wonder what they're using, and I'm like trying to crane my neck to see what's on their board just for fun. So that was really cool for me. I was pretty happy with that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was actually at Maryland and I missed you guys and I was so pissed. But
that show was crazy. That was one of the best we've ever played. I didn't know what to expect. It was a decent sized room too. And as we started, kids were just going off.
Was it a soundstage?
Sometimes you can play. Sorry?
Was it soundstage you guys played?
I think so. It was the Mortician played there the same venue the next day. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I thought it was real. We had a great time, but as soon as we started, I was like, this is going to be bonkers. Like, people were feeling it, and then people were just diving. And just at metal shows, you don't necessarily always see stage dives. You know, sometimes the crowd looks very. I don't know. Sometimes the crowd just is kind of focused and standing still and having a good time, but these people wanted to party, so it was cool. Someone unplugged my pedal board like 2 or 3 times, which sucked. Like, that's gonna happen. Like, just about to play a solo and some kid like trips over it, but that's the way it goes. You know, I've been that guy. I'm sure I've stepped on somebody's pedal board when I was trying to do a flip off stage. So. Yeah,
that was my 3rd time going to Maryland. That room is always like that. It's nuts. So it's
it was really cool. That was my first time, and we saw some really good bands in that same venue that night. Drop Dead played.
Yeah.
Which was cool. Like, I've liked Drop Dead since I was probably 15. Full of Hell played. They were great.
Yeah, I saw them. I think I got there after you guys played. I don't remember, but
Yeah, we played pretty early, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw a lot of cool bands. It was sick, man. I was thinking there's some great bands playing MDS this year too.
Oh, yeah.
I guess next year, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to pop down.
Hell yeah, yeah, and I did buy a T-shirt from you guys, so that was worth it. I will say you're. I was like, I missed them, but I'm gonna buy a fucking shirt because you guys have probably some of the coolest merch, honestly, right now.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like our shirts a lot. We did those album cover shirts. Those look totally nuts, and we have our homie in Pittsburgh prints most of our stuff, and they always come out really good. So Steve has really taken to our bass player. He does a lot of like the designing of he does a lot of the design, chooses the colors and stuff, and he works in like promotional products, and I work in screen printing myself. So
nice.
We're always stoked on shirts and stuff. So thanks, man. I do like our merch. It's pretty all right.
Yeah, and as far as the color coordination, and then I like that a lot of people are on the long sleeve thing now again. Where they got the logo on and
me
stuff.
Too. Yeah, the long sleeves are sick as hell. They just look cool.
Yeah.
It's just good, and it's like, especially like you can't necessarily wear them in the summer depending on where you live, but it's all like in the fall I just wear a different long sleeve.
I wear them all year round. I'm a long sleeve with shorts kind of dude, And,
right on.
So
I've seen your type. It shows.
Yeah, just pile them on in the winter, and then wear them all year. I got the I think it's Infinite Resurrection shirt. It's
cool.
Got the red logo on it. It's cool as shit.
Yep. That I think that artwork was done by the Shogun Kinetics Lucas, the guy who did all of our insert work and a lot of the booklet work for the new LP.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. Yeah. Oh, I love his stuff. I love anyone that can do a one color design. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I find sometimes detail gets lost in one color. Like I love multicolor prints and multicolor art, obviously, but if you can do like an engaging one color piece of art that doesn't just look like cookie cutter, then I'm usually pretty intrigued. And his stuff's very cool.
Yeah. And you guys have one of the best logos, I think, in death metal currently. It's just really nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's legible, but not too legible.
Right. That's what you want.
I like it a lot. We changed it a bit. It became slightly more legible upon like the redraw, but
yeah,
I think it was a major improvement because there was a little bit of asymmetry that drove me nuts, and it's gone since then.
Yeah.
And I realized it's a metal logo, but so it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical, but I do love this current incarnation of the logo. I think it looks sick.
Yeah, it looks good on merch. It looks good on the album in that green color. And there's one shirt I saw where it was like kind of like a it's like a blue color. It's almost like a icy looking color. It's really nice on there.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice to have a good logo too. It just looks really sick.
Yeah, no, it doesn't hurt. It's funny because metal kids will see the logo and they're like, "Oh, Tumult!" They know it right away. Even before it was a recognizable logo, people could read it. Metal dudes.
Yeah.
And then normal people see it. And they're like, "There's no way that's his."
Oh yeah, when I wear my shirt, they're just like, "What?" They're like, "I'm trying to read what it says on there," and I'll be like, "Tumult."
Yeah.
They don't. Usually, people don't hear those two words put together in their lifetime, probably.
True.
So they're just kind of like, they're like, "What?"
What?
And I'm like, "Tumult," and they're like, "Tumult."
It is funny because I point out the logo. I say, here's the M, and here's the, and I show it to them, and then I'm like, but if you guys think this is illegible, I will show you some far less let's just break out some black metal logos,
or Blood Incantation. You can't even.
Oh, the Blood Incantation one is crazy. Yeah. I saw that and I was like, I'm not even going to try to find a logo in that. I mean, I'm sure it's there. It's a cool logo. Definitely a sick logo, but just not easy to read. And there's some black metal ones that are almost a joke. I've seen that.
Oh, there's bad ones.
But, I've seen that. You know the Wolves in the Throne Room one? Yeah. I remember seeing that and just being like, this looks like a algebra equation or something. Like, there's no way there's a letter in here. And it was so like neat and tidy, so it was quite different. But yeah,
it's like that meme where it's like a pile of sticks or something, or like lines or something. It's
I like to be able to maybe not read it instantly, but I like to be able to, if I hear the name, I want to see it in the logo. So the ones that are just messes, I'm not usually stoked on. But some of those black metal ones are just beyond the beyond. They're ridiculous. But
and I like some of the old school ones, like Morbid Angel or like Death or
Obituary is my favorite.
Yeah, Obituary's got a good one.
Yeah, the O and the Y with the big T in the middle.
Yeah. And they did on the new album, they put like the alligator in there. I thought it was kind of cool, and the wings. It's pretty badass.
Yeah. That rules.
Logos are definitely intriguing, and it grabs the attention. So when you're walking around with the shirt, even if people don't listen to it, they're gonna know. They're gonna know what the shit is. So it's kind of cool.
They're gonna know you fly the flag. Yeah, I have a Lurker of Chalice shirt.
Yeah.
And that logo is just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I can see it in there now. It's I can definitely make it out, but people are always like, "What the fuck is on your shirt?" But yeah, that's a pretty nutty one.
Yeah, man.
And Zapster have a crazy one too. Zapster did a split with Nort, that I remember purchasing from Southern Lord.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, and I remember looking at the Zapster logo and being like, "What?" Yeah.
You gotta fly it, man, and be proud.
Absolutely.
The last thing I want to do, we'll talk about horror movies for a minute, because I know you're the horror guy.
Yeah, I'm a big horror fanatic, I suppose is the right word.
What are some of your...
Also,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's part of what we do here on Phantasm. We kind of try to bridge them together, because horror and metal go hand in hand very, very easily, and
Oh, yeah, no question.
Haven't ran into too many people. There's been a couple awkward interviews where I'm just like, "You're into horror movies?" They're like, "No, actually." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well."
Yeah, I can see that being like a little bit of a...
So I'm like, "Well, what movies do you like?" And then we were talking about Bobby from Overkill, and we actually talked about Goodfellas for like 15 minutes. So that was fun, actually. But
yeah, I mean, that's a pretty important film. That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
For a while.
But we actually
and
had a
he
lot of
likes
fun.
Goodfellas. He probably likes Taxi Driver, and he probably likes Casino, and he probably likes Heat. So it's like you can go from there.
Scorsese shit, yeah. So that was fun, but sometimes you get a couple that are just like, "No, I really don't. I don't even watch movies." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like,
man, if someone doesn't watch movies, I can't.
Was it Wolf Hoffman? Wolf Hoffman from Accept was the worst one because
from Accept.
Yeah, because he hated horror movies. And I was like, "Dude, you were on the Demon soundtrack," and he was like, "We did that, but we really hated it. We thought the movie was stupid." And it just crushed my soul. I was like, "Man, dude, like you're killing me right now." And he went on this whole tirade about how much he hated horror movies. I was like, "Dude, it's like
that's rough."
Yeah, I didn't even.
Demons is amazing.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's so good. You got fucking dudes on goddamn motorcycles in fucking theater.
They're
playing Accept. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, I love that. The last half hour of Demons is special, man. Demons is kind of like something I throw on when I'm like cleaning the house.
Yeah, exactly.
I just like to have it on in the background. Demons 2, I think is just as good.
Yeah.
I would put them on the same level. I saw Demons 2 first, actually, because I worked at a video store when I was a teenager, and we didn't have Demons.
Nice.
We had a VHS copy of Demons 2. I was like, fuck it, I might as well watch it. We also had Night of the Demons, the Linnea Quigley trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Those, I'm not over the moon about those.
Yeah.
But
they're campy. They're very campy.
Yeah. But I like some pretty campy stuff. But Demons 2, I maybe it's because I saw it first, but I do like it just as much as Demons 1.
Yeah.
And that Demons was directed by Bava.
Lombardo Bava, yeah.
Lombardo Bava, and his dad is obviously a pretty crucial dude. Made some legendary shit. I mean, I think I saw Demons 2 before I saw like Bay of Blood, though. So
right.
I definitely saw things out of order. That I should have watched.
The Mario stuff.
Yeah, I hadn't seen anything of his, actually. I think the first of his I probably saw was probably Bay of Blood.
Yeah.
I guess. And, it's fantastic. There's that kind of gray area as far as horror goes when you're sort of going into the 70s, where it's like movies are in color and they're a lot more violent.
Yeah.
But, you know, I remember seeing A Night of the Living Dead was one of the first I saw, you know, because it was kind of on TV all the time. It's a public domain film.
Yeah.
So you could just put it on. And I saw that, and that came out at a time when color was actually very, very in vogue. So it was kind of weird to make a black and white film, but it was so cheap.
Right.
And then I probably saw, like, Black Sunday or something.
Yeah.
You know, which is, fuck, man, that's probably my favorite movie Bava made.
Yeah.
I would think. You know, I'm trying to think of what else he did, but I think that's my favorite.
Yeah,
he made that. He made Black Sabbath and Blood and Black Lace, and those are awesome. He made a lot, actually. I don't think I've seen. Certainly haven't seen everything.
I think he did Mountain of the Cannibal God, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
And and Bay of Blood's obviously like
staple,
pretty crucial one. So, and then his son did Demons. I'm not sure what else he did though.
No, he did another big one. I'm not thinking of Lombardo Bava.
Yeah.
But
I'm not sure either. But yeah, for horror, for me, I like my favorite horror movie is The Thing, which is like pretty basic answer, but like it's perfect. It's a 10 out of 10.
You know, a lot of people go to that one, and I think the reason being is because it's just so good as far as like the horror and sci-fi element, but it's just so nasty, and I don't think anything has ever come close to that, you know.
Yeah, the special effects are totally bonkers. The middle is just, because it's a slow burn at the first, and once it ramps up, it's just unstoppable.
It's relentless.
Just totally amazing, like start to finish. Interestingly, it's a remake, of course, which people like to point out, because there are so many subpar remakes out there. I believe we're getting another Black Christmas remake in about a month. And
it's PG-13.
PG-13, which isn't necessarily a death sentence, but to me, have you seen the film The Skulls?
No.
It's The Skulls is like some bullshit suspense, you know, early 2000s movie about like evil sorority.
Yeah.
You know, these guys in the like ancient society in the sorority.
Oh, yeah.
The Black Christmas remake, I saw the trailer, and when it started, I was like, is this The Skulls? Like, did they remake The Skulls? It doesn't look like it has much in common with the original Black Christmas at all.
Right.
With the whole Billy character, which is like, you know, top shelf. Black Christmas, top shelf movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's all, I don't know. I was going to say it's almost as good as Halloween. They're close for me, those two. There's also the Canadian connection. Black Christmas, the house from the film is just not very far from where I live. So
nice.
But yeah, that movie rules. But I mean, my favorites, I like the 80s. I'm a huge Dario Argento fan.
Yeah,
my second favorite film of all time is not a horror film, but Once Upon a Time in the West.
Really?
With Charles Bronson, Henry Fonda, and Claudia Cardinale, and that is written by Dario Argento.
Right.
Which is I think his only non-horror film that he wrote. And that is, for my money, like the best climax in a film ever. It's mind-blowing. So he did that. That film's from 1968. So that's 2 years before he did Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess the full 9 years before he did Suspiria.
Yeah.
Suspiria also being my favorite Argento. Again, Opera's not far behind. I think Opera's totally underrated.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the movies, I watch it every year, at least one. But Suspiria is an actual masterpiece. I did not watch the remake.
I didn't either.
It's like, I'm not even super hateful about things like that, but I remember I was one of those people that I would complain about remakes all the time, but then I would go see them. I would spend I can't believe they remade Nightmare on Elm Street, this sucks. And then I would go fork over my money and watch it, and then I would leave and be like, that sucked. Like, of course it was going to suck. It never had a chance. So then I just stopped going. I think RoboCop and Total Recall remakes were coming out, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm never going to see these. Like, I'm not spending money on them. I'm not even going to shit talk them. I'm just going to pretend they don't exist, and I can still have my old RoboCop and my old Total Recall.
Yep.
And from what I heard, I didn't miss much. They sound like all my buddies. I was like, how was it there? It sucked. Like, no shit. The new RoboCop was bad. What a shock.
They made it in like 2 weeks. I mean, it's a turd.
I'm sorry?
So they probably made it in like 2 weeks, so it's like a turd anyway. It's just a CGI.
Yeah, it was filmed in Toronto. That was the only thing that made me even remotely interested to see it. But, I really, like this Black Christmas, just, again, it's not even that I'm, like, super spiteful about it. I'm just not going to see it. Like, I've seen too many cruddy remakes, so it's like I'll still watch something old that I haven't seen. There's still tons of stuff I haven't seen from the 80s. I just saw one that looked interesting today. What was it called that I was going to? Hospital Massacre, also known as X-Ray. I never even heard of it till today, but I was perusing someone's like list of like underrated slashers.
Yeah.
There's a film I really like with Martin Landau and Donald Pleasance called Alone in the Dark.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it rules. And I saw a guy who had that on his list of underrated films, and then he had a bunch of other films that I hadn't actually seen. So I was like, well, if he likes Alone in the Dark, then maybe these are cool. So I downloaded this Hospital Massacre. I'm hoping it's going to be cool.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I had honestly never even heard of it, so I'm expecting to enjoy it. But yeah, for horror, my cutoff is almost like the year 2000. Honestly, there's some stuff I love from just sheer garbage nostalgia. There's the movies like even the terrible remake of The Haunting, or even a movie like 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, I like that movie. That,
you know?
It's
like
cool.
I'm not saying it's a bad film, but due to the age I was when I saw it, I think I'm sort of doomed to like it forever. I just watched Saw the other day again for the first time in years, and I liked it a lot better than when I saw it in theaters. I thought it was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But they're few and far between. I like The Ring a lot. I like The Ring better than I ended up watching the Japanese Ring-U. Maybe a year later, I got access to it on DVD, and I watched it, and I didn't even love it.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because most of those J-horror things I find are far superior than any Asian horror film, actually.
Yeah,
my favorite Asian horror film of all time is called A Tale of Two Sisters.
Yep.
And it was remade as The Uninvited over here.
Okay, yeah.
And I didn't see The Uninvited, but I saw the trailer. That was enough.
Yeah.
And I got to the end of the trailer, and I was like, wow, that looks like someone's bastardized bullshit version of Tale of Two Sisters. And of course it was.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going to waste my fucking time with that. But, I remember watching Ring-U, and that was kind of boring. Like, I kind of like that weird American Ring even better. But, yep.
Yeah, there's a good, I like House, the Japanese film. It's from like the 70s.
Yeah, House too.
And then what's the... God, I can never remember it. It was from like the late 90s, I think. Infection, that one's good, if you haven't seen that.
Infection's awesome. Pulse is awesome.
Yep.
Pulse really stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
There's one or two other ones that I don't love. I didn't love Dark Water. I didn't love The Eye. I believe The Eye is Chinese.
Yeah.
I just saw Parasite the other night, and I thought that was pretty darn good. I definitely liked that film a lot.
Yeah.
And that dude made The Host, which is great.
Yeah, The Host is great.
And he made Memories of Murder, which is a goddamn masterpiece. And whenever I talk to people about that film, they're like, oh, we should check it out. I'm like, I don't know how it's not a bigger deal. After I watched Memories of Murder, I think I downloaded some terrible rip of it, and I watched it, and I was blown away. I still think it's one of the best pure movie experiences I ever had. Maybe because it wasn't hyped up for me, which is unfortunately what I do to everybody when I see it. I hype it up. I'm like, oh, you gotta see it, it's the best. But, I thought the Zodiac, David Fincher's Zodiac, I thought it was okay, but it reminded me a bit of Memories of Murder at points, especially with some of the ambiguous, like, did we catch the killer or not type question,
Yeah.
And both those films, like, anyone who saw Zodiac presumably knew that Zodiac killer was never caught.
Right.
And much like in Memories of Murder, the killer was never caught. But that's not a spoiler, because that was like a thing in Korea. People just knew this guy who murdered these women wasn't caught.
Yeah.
So you sort of knew the movie was going to end on this note, you know, where it's kind of unresolved. But that movie is something special. It's great. But yeah, Parasite was pretty good. And then for other horror that I've seen recently, I saw Halloween last year in theaters, the 2018 one.
Yeah.
I really liked, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
It was just super violent, and
I like the old school vibe where he's, you know, going house to house and just killing people. That's what you want.
Oh, that was really cool. And I also liked that he was just old.
Yeah.
They didn't try to. They weren't like, oh, it's young Michael Myers. No, it's like, yeah, he's 60. He's super fucking mad. I just dug it. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I was pretty nervous at the start when it's like two people from a podcast go to interview him. I was like, oh man, this isn't a good start. Because it was just so goofy. But then when they did it, I was like, oh hell yeah. Now that they're out of the way, it's going to get good. So I thought it was cool. I'm curious to see what they do with the sequels.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous, but you know, at least they've limited it. Say there's only 3.
Right.
There are three movies in this little arc. I do think it sucks that they discounted Halloween 2 and Halloween 4. I think Halloween 4 is great. I like Halloween 4 as much as I like Halloween 2, to be honest.
Yeah.
I hate the mask. I'll never like the mask. But,
right.
But aside from the mask, I think Danielle Harris is amazing as Jamie. I love the character Jamie.
Oh, yeah.
The Halloween 5 suffered because they didn't go with the little psycho child killer. Would have been perfect. If they had done that and she had been like 11 years old and killing people, Halloween 5 would be legendary. But instead,
I liked it for the most part, but I didn't like her in the movie in 5 because she was just like, you know, had the whole psychic connection to Michael and all that, which was a cool arc,
psychic
but
connection,
weird.
yeah, and losing her voice so she can't even talk.
Yeah, that part I
like,
hated, you know.
And it just was like, it was such a departure from the greatness of 4, because 4 was just so simple.
Yeah.
You know, there's things about 4 that suck, but like, there's things about 2 that suck, you know? So it's like, a lot of people, 4 is so unrealistic, like, it's like, well, 2 is 2. There's nobody in that hospital. Like, it's crazy.
He's just walking around, you know.
Oh, yeah, just walk around with the lights off. The nurses are walking around in the dark. There's like 2 nurses.
There's like a sauna in there that, you know, like...
There's a sauna where there's like a sex scene. It's just, it's pretty preposterous. I mean, I'll always love Halloween 2. I think it rules, but it's good, also it's easy to poke fun at. Halloween 3 rules too, but for a different reason.
Yeah,
Halloween 3 has had this weird rebirth where it's gone from. Like,
I love it because everyone shit on it.
I love it a lot, but the first time I saw it, I did not love it. I think I was maybe 12.
Yeah,
and I watched it, and I was like, "Yo, that sucked!" Like, I was so pissed Michael Myers wasn't in it.
Yeah,
there's no revisionist history on my end as far as like, "Oh yeah, I've always loved Halloween."
Yeah.
You know? It took a couple of viewings till I think what made me like Halloween 3 was seeing Night of the Creeps, and just, you know, seeing Tom Atkins, and then going back and watching Halloween 3 because he's so charming, and Night of the Creeps is brilliant. It's that's an amazing movie. It's just such a bizarre vibe. So then watching Halloween 3 again, he's got some great lines in Halloween 3. He's such a douchebag. It's great. Halloween 3 rules. But it's a bizarre entry in the Halloween saga, but I watched it twice this October. I watched it on October 1st, and then, I watched it on the 1st and the 31st. So it's definitely one I like to watch a lot. Oh, and my other favorite horror that's not the thing is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Of course. Yeah, it's brutal.
Perfect movie. And then for underrated horror, which, I mean, anyone listening is going to be like, oh, wow, he likes The Thing and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, yeah, I know they rule, but if I'm talking about ones that I really love that are underrated, People Under the Stairs. I don't know how it's not a bigger deal. That movie is fucking nuts.
You know what's weird is my mom knew, you know, this is when I was still little, but, you know, she worked nights, so I'd be glued to a TV and I'd watch all the late night shit and watch all the horror movies. Yeah. Kind of got into it on my own, and then, you know, one day she rented People Under the Stairs. She knew I watched, like, The Exorcist and Hellraiser. I mean, some of the things we watched together, you know. But she, you know, she had a friend over and she was like, you can't come in here. And I was like, why not? She's like, we're watching People Under the Stairs. It's too scary, apparently. And I was like, oh, okay. I think she just didn't want me in there with her friend watching it because, like, She knew the shit I was watching. So for like the longest time, that was like the movie that I was forbidden to see out of all the shit she knew I watched. So I was like, this movie must be fucking crazy. And then it wasn't, you know, it didn't live up to what I knew it to be, but like, it's such a weird fucking movie that like it's always stuck with me since I saw it. Like,
it was your white whale.
It was. Like, it really was.
You were like, I've seen Hellraiser, and that was crazy. Well, this movie must be fucking bonkers. I think one of the scariest part of People Under the Stairs is just the title.
Yeah.
It's just called. I mean, that's.
It is scary.
There's something about it that just, as a kid, when I saw it on the video store shelf, it's called The People Under the Stairs. I was just like, oh man, it's made my skin crawl.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see it. I was like, that's too creepy. I wanted to see movies like Evil Dead. And,
right.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I actually watched Texas Chainsaw. I was 11, and I watched it at a sleepover with my friend. We would watch horror movies. His father would let us rent them, and I watched it the night Princess Diana died.
Yeah.
And we put the movie on, and as we put it on, she had just been in a car accident, and she was like on life support, and her partner, Dode Al-Fayed, had died.
Yeah.
And then we watched the movie, and it was like a harrowing experience. Like I was 11, and he's at the end. That final scene is gonna stick with me forever when he gets hit with the wrench in the head and cuts his legs, and then he gets up and he's whipping the chainsaw around. That brings tears to my eyes now that I actually see it. I get so pumped.
Yeah.
And then the movie was just over, and we turned the movie off, and then it was like, CNN came back on because we were using a VCR.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, Princess Diana, died. We were like, whoa. So that was a weird night for me. And then I think the next night was the night we watched, what did we watch? I think we watched Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
That's my favorite.
We had seen the first one, and we didn't like 2. I like it now.
Yeah.
But at the time, we were like, this is weird. And I think we both subconsciously knew that it had some severely homoerotic overtone.
Yeah.
And I was probably at the age where we thought things that were gay were stupid or whatever. We were just being dumb kids.
Right.
Or maybe not stupid, but we definitely would have laughed at it.
Right.
In like a mean way. So, yeah, we were like, oh, that was dumb. That movie was whatever. But I actually have a real soft spot for it now. I think it's awesome.
It's my favorite one.
There was an interesting documentary. Have you seen the documentary Scream Queen?
No.
It's cool. It's about the guy who plays the protagonist in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and he was gay, and the director of the film was also gay. And
yeah.
I guess the director knew exactly what he was doing when he did. But, it's a neat little doc, because it talks about how it sort of compromised that actor's career. He said it sort of ruined his life for a while.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a strong movie. I mean, it also kind of suffers from being sandwiched between the two best in the series with Nightmare on Elm Street and then Dream Warriors. Those movies are amazing. So 2's kind of the black sheep of that trio.
It is, but I think people have more appreciation for it. Honestly, that's my favorite. I think it's like the raunchiest that Freddy is in the whole series. I think he's like just a badass. He really is.
It's very crass. I mean, the scene where the glove is coming out of his fingers, like when his skin is peeling, that is probably the grossest.
Yeah.
I guess that and the weightlifting scene are the two that kind of like bug me about Nightmare, where I just hate the idea of like spikes coming out of your fingertips or the blades. It's just awful. So, we didn't like it at the time, but I liked a lot of bullshit too when I was a kid. I remember seeing like, I probably saw Fear.com. And
I remember that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, maybe not Fear.com. I think I was too old for that, but I definitely watched some stupid horror that I definitely thought was good that I would go back and watch now and be brutally ashamed. Even some of the classics at the time. Yeah, there were some like classics I watched that, and I say classic loosely, but there were some classics I watched that I was just maybe not super enamored with that I've really grown to love now.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Amityville Horror for the first time, be like, it's hooked.
Yeah.
And it doesn't suck. It's pretty sick, but at the time, maybe it's because I was becoming jaded to. Maybe it wasn't as violent as I had hoped or whatever. But
yeah, you're impressionable as a kid. You get into so many different things, and then when you get older, you actually see things differently. Like I didn't really have, I've always loved The Shining, but when I saw it in theaters, you just see it in a different way, because you actually see how it was shot, you know, more than it is on TV. Like, it's actually meant to be seen in a theater. And then
Sure, absolutely.
we watched the 4K cut of it a month or two ago, and man, it's fucking beautiful, and it looks even better, and like it sounds even better. It's just a whole new way to watch that movie, and it just makes it more like
yeah, I've seen it in theaters. I saw it print, but I haven't not seen it in 4K.
yeah, it's
But
really good.
I definitely should watch it. See, the shit I liked as a kid, I probably didn't like Amityville, but I probably liked Stephen King's Sleepwalkers. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
watched that movie a lot. For some reason, I watched the shit out of that movie.
it's weird. I mean, as a kid in the 90s, it was like everyone had a Stephen King movie they liked a lot. It was like, my buddy was like, oh, I love Sometimes They Come Back, or Angler, or Graveyard Shift, or these awful made-for-TV films. The Langoliers, my buddy Jake had the Langoliers on videotape.
Yeah.
And I remember he lent that to me, and I
Those
was
fucking
like,
orb
awesome.
things. I was like, this is...
Oh, yeah, it's so bad, but when you're a dumb kid and you're just getting
I watched
bored,
all that
like,
shit. My mom always watched the Tommy Knocker. She'd be like, I'm not watching that. It's the
Dude,
scariest movie ever. And I watched it. I was like, this movie's fucking stupid. But it's cool. But,
although I remember seeing The Stand and being... I still love The Stand. The Stand is wicked. Do you know which one I saw? I rented it right when it came out. I was so excited to see it. And I liked it, and I've watched it since then, and I hated it. It was Thinner.
Yeah, I love Thinner. The gypsy thing, I thought it was cool as shit.
Oh, man, it was just, as a kid, I was like,
yeah, because I would watch it all the time. It'd come on, like, Sci-Fi or some shit. Like, they would play a lot of those.
Yeah.
Sci-Fi would always play the Stephen King stuff. And
TBS Superstation or something would always play, like, you know,
like,
Clive Barker's Lord of Illusion, but heavily edited or whatever.
Yeah, or, like, Salem's
Something
Lot
like
was great, because, you know, Salem's Lot was another made-for-TV thing. It was...
Yeah, and that's Toby Hooper, too. And I went to watch it recently, and then I was like, oh, it's 4 hours. Like, I forgot how long this is. Toby Hooper is such an interesting director, too, because he really was all over the place. Texas Chainsaw, he peaked. He really did. Like, whether he still liked it or not, he peaked with his first movie. It's the best.
Yeah.
Poltergeist, everyone says Spielberg directed, or at least has his fingerprints all over, and it is a very slick movie. But then, other than that, Toby did, what did he do? Toolbox Murders. He did Funhouse. Funhouse, which is
Funhouse
really
is
cool.
great, yeah. And did Life Force.
Life Force is very weird.
Yeah.
And he did Texas Chainsaw 2, which initially, as a youth, I was disappointed by because it was too silly.
Yeah, it's a dark comedy.
But I've definitely grown to love it now. I have not grown to love Leatherface Part 3. I still don't like it.
Yeah.
I managed to watch like the violence cut, but I still think there's some stuff missing from it.
Yeah.
I know they cut a lot of gore, and I think some of it just got lost and is never going to surface, unfortunately. But yeah, Toby Hooper was a very interesting director. Just kind of, when I remember like finding out he made Poltergeist years after I saw it.
Yeah.
You're like, what? That's Texas Chainsaw guy made that? That's very strange. And Poltergeist is
Have you seen
movie.
Eaten Alive?
Yeah.
That's the one with Robert Englund. It's like the alligator movie or whatever.
Yeah.
That he did.
Robert
It's really
Englund.
weird.
I actually got to meet Robert Englund years ago, and I was I've met a few people at the conventions I've gone to.
Yeah,
and for
we
the
go to those a
most
lot.
part, everyone's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And it's cool, but only one or two people have ever really wowed me with their like passion.
Yeah.
And he was one of them. Like he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And he was very animated when talking about film. It was pretty cool. I got to talk to him for about 10 minutes, and he was lamenting the loss. He was complaining about how frustrated he was that the Sarah Connor Chronicles had been canceled.
Yeah.
He was so pissed, man. He was swearing and going on. And when he talked about Freddy too, he talked about his influences, and he was going back and talking about characters from silent horror films, stuff I had never even heard of. You know, I've seen Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, Nosferatu, and M, and all that stuff, like the heavy hitters. But he was like, "Oh, you need to see this and this and this and stuff." I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
But he was awesome. He was just such a cool dude, and he had so much like knowledge. Him and the guy who did the voice of the killer in Scream, Roger L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Another guy who just really wowed me with his you could just tell he was a real diehard film guy. Like, he was going on about something or other in his Q&A, and I remember being impressed with, like, the well of information he was drawing from. It was really cool. Because some actors are just like, yeah, I did the thing, and it was cool. And these guys were like, you know, it was their craft. So it's always cool to see, especially in horror, because a lot of people write off horror as like a, you know, much like comedy, where they're like, oh, it's like a bullshit genre. Like, it's fine for the purpose it serves, but it'll never be like, you know, brilliant cinema. You know, it's not looked at as being.
There's a lot of great actors in horror, actors that got their start, you know, and like Johnny Depp and shit like that, and Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, totally, yeah.
You know,
there's a bunch. You could even say, going back to Texas Chainsaw, you could even say Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, from the Generations. Ooh.
Yeah, that was another one I saw.
The Next Generation, right?
Too, actually. Yeah, I rented that on videotape, and man, didn't like that much. That didn't do much for me either as a kid. It was nice though as a kid. Like The Shining was that's the perfect example. It's a film I saw as a child. You know, I was probably 12 or 13 when I finally watched it, where I was like, wow. You know, start to finish, you know you're watching something special.
Yeah.
Kubrick was like that with most of his stuff, to be honest. But there's only a couple of his I'm not crazy about. But same feeling I had watching, you know, 2001.
Yeah.
Although or Clockwork Orange. You know, you're watching very special and important movies. But I mean, horror can obviously go either way. I see like The Shining, amazing, and it's probably looked at as one of like the best.
Yeah.
You know, horror films in it. Well, if you're talking objectively, but you know, I have this weird affinity for it. Even if something is totally garbage, if it's from the '80s, I don't care. Like,
that's the best thing.
I'll gladly watch it. You know, I'll watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Just the garbage. Derek, actually, the guitar player in Tumult, he loves the Demonic Toys and Doll Man series.
Oh, yeah, Demonic Toys. Yeah.
Oh, Derek loves trash like that. He's a huge Neil Breen enthusiast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy. He can handle that stuff like no one else I know.
Does he like the full moon stuff?
Player, I'm sorry? Totally. He loves full moon stuff. That's Derek's definitely some of his favorite stuff. And Steve, our bass player, he introduced me to some bizarre, maybe not horror, but Steve also likes a lot of weird older films. He showed me Hell Comes to Frogtown, stuff like that.
I love that movie. It's so good, actually. I like it.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
He told me, I hadn't heard of it when he told me to watch it. This was years ago when him and I were working together in the screen printing shop, and he's like, I think I had brought up They Live, and I was like, oh yeah, They Live. It's, you know, such a great movie. And he's like, oh, have you seen Hell Comes to Frogtown? I was like, no. He's like, Roddy Piper, but he has sex with like a giant frog at one point in the film. I was like, yo, how have I not seen this? Sounds awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of sex with giant shit, Galaxy of Terror is really good.
I don't know that one, actually. Galaxy of Terror.
Yeah, it's a Roger Corman thing. It's actually Robert Englund's in it, and Sid Haig's in it. And I think it was some of their first movies. Yeah, no, not Sid Haig. Sid Haig's been in shit since, you know, like...
Sure.
Fucking 60s.
When's Galaxy of Terror from? That's from the...
I think it's from 1980.
Late 70s?
Yeah. Yeah, it's older, but it's fucking ridiculous. There's you know, just giant insects, but you don't really see a whole lot at first. It's just, it's good stuff. There's a giant maggot rape scene, so that's worth it in and of itself. It's just nuts.
Oh, God.
Yeah, 1981, but it's,
Speaking of 81.
Yeah.
There's a movie I like a lot from 1982 by Larry Cohen, speaking of not seeing a lot. Q the Winged Serpent. You ever see that one? That's, you like The Stuff?
Oh, yeah.
This is the same dude, and it's about Quetzalcoatl. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but it's like, this winged monster. I think it's from, like, Peruvian folklore or something. I don't want to offend anybody and get that incorrect, but it's, Quetzalcoatl, and it's living in the, Chrysler building. I think it's the Chrysler building. Yeah, and it has to be hunted, and it flies around New York City. The movie is nuts. but Larry Cohen made that. I think Michael Moriarty's in it,
and
David Carradine's in it, and he made it before he did the stuff, and it's bonkers. It was pretty cool, but it's another movie where you don't necessarily see a lot. Speaking of horror, and not seeing a lot, that's the movies I like the most. A movie like Jaws, where you don't see much for the first half.
Yeah, you anticipate
Blair Witch Project, I still think is amazing. You don't see much at all in
Yeah.
Blair Witch Project. You don't really see anything, to be honest.
You don't. You see that guy in the corner at the end, and you're like, oh, shit. And,
Man, I'll never forget seeing that. I saw it in theaters, and it was, for my money, that's still the movie that scared me the most. I think I was, 13.
Yeah, because the found footage thing wasn't there yet, It was kind of new to have it. People thought it was real.
They did a really good job blurring the line, too, because I think at one point they said, okay, well, the film isn't real, but the legend it's based on, the Burkeville 7, that's real.
Yeah.
And then everyone believed there was this witch that killed children in the woods at one point. So they did the marketing was brilliant, but a lot of the kids at my school, I was in junior high at the time, they went to see it, kids I didn't like. The cool kids, they went to see it, and they were like, it sucked.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I've seen horror movies. I can handle this. If these idiots don't like it, I'll go check it out. It won't scare me. And then it scared the shit out of me, man. I was, in the last 20 minutes was just a screaming in the darkness, and then the dude in the corner.
It was crazy.
Forever.
Yeah.
Very, very spooky stuff. And that's where movies like, I wasn't a big fan of Cloverfield.
No,
or
they
even
kind of...
Super 8 also. And these are movies that they reveal too much. They could have done that whole movie Super 8 without showing you the creature once, and I think it would have been way more interesting. Because once you see this budget CGI bullshit, same with Cloverfield, it's if you had never seen the monster, I think I might have actually liked it. But instead, it was just this big dumb. And the computer effects look great the year the movie comes out, and then after that, it's just downhill. They look dated.
Yeah.
The CG really suffers like that. And you compare it to a movie like, any of those old slashers that use cool practical effects, like even that scene in City of the Living Dead with the gut vomiting.
Yeah.
Those are legendary scenes. And then you have movies like Terminator 2 and Jurassic Park that are a perfect blend of practical and digital effects.
Yeah.
Terminator 2 for me is like the apex of that, where it's like...
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta drive a big truck off a fucking bridge to chase a kid on a motorcycle. That's not some green screen nonsense. They did that where a movie like, I don't know, Transformers falls short. But I see these movies like Cloverfield, and I was like, man, it's going to look so bad in a decade. Even The Matrix, which a lot of people think is, a classic, it looks kind of crappy now.
Yeah.
Which is, and not to say that all practical effects are bulletproof. There's tons of shitty looking practical effects in film, but I always like it better, at least. I love that movie, The Prowler, and I was just watching The
Prowler rules.
Oh, it's so good, man. It's super underrated. It's a twist ending that most people don't actually guess, which is cool for a 1981 slasher where everything was kind of brainless. Well, not brainless, I suppose. My Bloody Valentine, I think, was from the same time. That's one of my absolute favorite movies. That's filmed in Nova Scotia, where Steve and I are from Nova Scotia, actually, the east coast of Canada, and that was filmed there. The Prowler, I was showing the kills compilation to one of the dudes I work with. It's got two of my favorite kills. The pitchfork, it's the knife in the pool, and then when the guy gets that blade through his head and then his eyes roll back in his head. That is the longest. So many movies would just show the stab and then it would cut. And that movie just shows you the whole struggle. It's fucking crazy. It's just so ugly.
It's the Tom Savini
those are
goodness.
Two of my favorites. I'm sorry?
So it's Tom Savini goodness.
Oh, yeah. He's a genius. It was funny to watch him do a Q&A years ago because he's got an interesting attitude, but you can't deny his brilliance. I mean, the effects he did for some of those films. Even the first Friday the 13th, as slow as it is, it's a great film, but it is. I find it's kind of hard to go back to now.
Right.
It's kind of like playing a really great PlayStation 1 game, it's still, Silent Hill is still great.
But when you go back and play it, yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, it's you just kind of try to go back to
it. You're like, oh yeah, this still rules, but because Friday the 13th is pretty boring. They sort of struggle to make the 90-minute runtime on that one. The end is really drawn out. But the Kevin Bacon arrow through the chest, you know, is still so fucking cool. It was just different, you know, and I had seen a lot of shitty slashers as a kid, so when I watched the stuff that Savini did, it was just, you know, a breath of fresh air because it was so real looking, or at least any different kills. Friday the 13th has always been good at shocking you with some pretty wild kills. That wheelchair kill too.
That's one of my all-time favorites.
The wheelchair is my second favorite in the whole. What was your favorite? Is that your favorite in the series?
That's one of my favorites for sure. Because it's in the fucking rain and he's just going down the stairs. Even as a kid, I laughed my ass off at that scene. It's just
it's crazy,
so goofy.
Do you have an actual favorite, like number one?
For Jason films, I don't know. I have a few of them mixed around. Like I love in Part 8. I love the toxic waste barrel kill.
Yeah,
I love that shit. It's so brutal. He's just like
that's a wild movie.
Yeah,
it's probably my least favorite of the 8, but it's still pretty fun.
Yeah.
You want to know something crazy? Do you like Funebrarum?
Yeah, the band. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so you know the singer Daryl?
Mm-hmm.
He was in a bunch of punk bands. He was in some bands, but there's a scene in Jason Takes Manhattan where there's some punks. I'm sure you can remember. And they're listening to their like ghetto blaster
when he kicks over
the
ghetto blaster. Yeah.
So the little skinhead that has like the chain, that's Daryl.
Really?
Yeah. I found that out when we were playing Killtown Death Fest.
Because they're from New York, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's New Jersey actually.
Yeah, Jersey.
Daryl played in Disma.
Wow.
And yeah, someone said, I think it was the guitar player of Funebrarum said that. And I was like, excuse me? What are you talking about? They're like, yeah, he's one of the punks. And I mean, when I saw that movie, I was really like, that scene stuck with me because I liked punk. So I saw these punk kids with chains and spikes and listening to a stereo. I was like, oh, cool, punks, like mainstream punks, or punks in a mainstream film or whatever. As mainstream as Friday the 13th is.
Right.
And because then he takes off his mask and shows them his face, and they all bolt. Which is
they're like, it's cool, man. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And then for me, the best kill in Friday the 13th is that Crispin Glover kill. Corkscrew to the hand.
Oh yeah,
he turns and
right
then machete to the face.
Yeah, that's brutal,
dude. That is the sickest 1-2 combo because you know he's about to bite it, you know, and he's just there with his annoying voice.
Because he's a dead fuck.
Where's the corkscrew?
Yeah, he's a dead fuck.
Dead fuck. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah,
Final Chapter is my favorite Friday.
It's the most brutal too. It really is. Like it's just brutal. Like it starts off.
5's pretty brutal too.
It is.
5 is really.
I like 5 because the most brutal part is, you know, Jason, the real Jason, you know, he likes to stack up bodies near the end to where they all kind of fall out on you to make you freak out.
Yeah, it's got the reveal.
Yeah, and then 5, he just throws them all in a fucking bedroom, like stacks, you know, like Roy just like stacks them up, and it's like, God, that's the most brutal scene in the movie because you just find everybody like in this bunk bed, and it's like, God, that's
awesome.
Nasty.
Yeah, Roy, good old Roy. He has more kills in that than Jason does in any of his own movies. So.
Yeah, he racked up that halfway house.
Yeah.
And,
that movie is just so unpleasant. Like, everything about it is just kind of like, ugh, this is sad and depressing. Like, these poor kids.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do, and I didn't, again, it's another one, when I first saw it, I was, like, not won over.
Yeah.
I was pissed that it wasn't Jason. I should have known from the little blue highlights on the mask as opposed to the classic red. I do like that sort of your first hint, you know? The mask is a little different.
Yeah.
But now I really love 5. I love all of them. I think, you know, Steve and Tumold, he's been, for years we've talked about it, his favorite 7.
Yeah.
He calls it Jason versus Carrie. And that's pretty much what it is. 7, again, I thought was good. Not great.
It's too butchered now, you know. Like I go back and watch it now, from when I used to watch it a lot, and that was going to be the most brutal one, you know. But they went back and the MPAA was so bad then at that time, where it's just so butchered, everything. And you'll never see a cut of that like the way it was supposed to be.
It's so frustrating to know that it's all the best stuff.
Because they had like that, tree trimmer kill, and they had like all this crazy shit. And, you can watch the cutting room floor stuff where you see the actual cuts of it, but it looks bad. But, I mean, you can see what the kills looked like before.
Yeah, My Bloody Valentine did the same thing with the unedited cut, because the MPA made them cut a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But I saw the unedited, the true cut in theaters here.
Yeah.
At the cast and crew reunion thing, and they played it. And
nice.
Even though it was grainy, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
To see how long some of those kills were. They were, pretty heavy duty. But, yeah, 7, I think it's 7. I think in the actual cut of 7, you don't get to see her mom die, because her shitty stepdad or whatever, throws the bomb to Jason.
The therapist, yeah.
Yeah, and you never get to see her die. I was always wondering if there was some sort of, really brutal death for her that wasn't included in the actual film. But, those are all great movies, man. And it's none of them on their own are amazing.
No.
Not like Halloween is. Halloween is special for that, but the Friday movies as a whole, if you want to just put on all 8 in a row, it's... I say 8. I mean, I know there's more than 8, but I only really like to recognize 8 of the
those are the
initial... Best, yeah, because then you have X, which is...
I saw that in theaters.
I also saw that in theaters. Yeah. I was excited to see it because I thought it was going to be funny, and it kind of was. But
David Cronenberg's in it, which was cool.
He is. He died pretty early on. I wonder how they pulled that. How did they pull that off? How did they get David Cronenberg and Jason X, which was called Jason in Space?
I guess they filmed it. I think they filmed it in Toronto. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it's just weird. And that was at a time when he had stopped sort of making horror films, because Cronenberg had moved on to, I think he made Spider with Ray Fiennes sometime, maybe a year or two after Jason X. Mm-hmm. So he was sort of, I mean, I can understand him maybe wanting a cameo if he had just finished Scanners or Rabbit or The Brood, but
sure.
It's funny that he had kind of been out of the game for a minute. I think he did Dead Ringers and then some other stuff, and I do love that later era Cronenberg, though, the non-horror stuff. Eastern Promises and History of Violence are both fantastic. I saw History of Violence in theaters and thought it was amazing.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy.
Don't die yet. Right back.
Cronenberg's good shit. That's your neck of the woods, and
yeah, totally. He's awesome. He's one of the best. So I wish he would make one more really fucked up horror movie.
Me too.
I know he could. Well, Derek and I actually went together to Fan Expo, which is the Canadian sort of version of, I guess it's a much smaller version of Comic-Con that we have here.
Yeah.
And Cronenberg was there, and he was presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Rue Morgue presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award, but I got Ken Russell to present it to him, the director of Altered States and The Devils and lots of other stuff.
Yeah. And
Cronenberg was on cloud 9 because he loved Ken Russell's work.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty cool thing to see. I mean, I think Altered States is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
The Devils is really good too, but it's another ugly one. I wasn't really ready for it the first time I saw it. I was definitely disturbed. I saw it too young. I think I was 15 or 16. But Altered States is magnificent. I saw Altered States, and then that led me. I told my coworker at the video store, I said, I watched Altered States, and I loved it. And he was in his 40s, and he was like, you should check out Reanimator. It's a more fun version.
Yeah.
But I don't know why he said that, but I did watch it. Reanimator ended up becoming one of my favorites.
No, it's great.
It's actually my girlfriend's favorite movie, favorite horror movie that we've watched was Reanimator. She loves it. It is really brilliant. I recommend it to pretty much everybody, even if you don't love horror, because it's funny.
Yeah, I like, Stuart Gordon directed, but Brian Usna, who I think wrote it, he's done some of my favorite horror movies, too, because he's just, it's one of his movies, because he's just gross, Usna did, Return of the Living Dead Part 3, and he did, he did the fucking Dentist. Yeah, he did the Dentist, which is, that actually scared me from going to the dentist for, years after seeing that movie.
I saw the Dentist fairly young.
Yeah.
He also, what was funny about him is he's a guy that wrote Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. He's done some weird stuff.
Yeah, I think I looked up that movie because I think I was having a Rick Moranis argument with somebody. We were discussing Rick Moranis' filmography. And I was looking up that film because I had it on videotape as a kid. That and Honey, I think the sequel is Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
Yeah.
With like the giant baby or whatever. And then I saw like Brian Yuzna's name on IMDb or something, and I was like, what? No way. And then I like looked into it. I was like, holy shit, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They got hit, like the guy who made, the dentist and the Society. Like,
yeah, Society.
Society is disgusting. I have a hard time getting through Society. There's some that shunting at the end. Yeah. Man, it bugs me. Like, it's great, but we all have our like hot button things that kind of gross us out. For me, it's the last 20 minutes. The part that grosses me out is when they like suck that nerd kid, like they like suck his whatever out, like, and then that main guy, the evil one, he gets the beauty mark on his face, like the mole. Yeah. The kid head is now on his cheek. Something about that. Oh God. Yeah, disgusting. I watched it for the second time. It was on the last drive. Joe Bob Briggs did it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I guess I'll watch Society again and see what he has to say about it. But I didn't find it any easier to watch. I thought it was really fucking gross.
It's wonky, but it's nasty. You know, it's very grimy. And that's how he does his stuff. You know, From Beyond.
He did Bride of Reanimator. Yeah, he did Bride of Reanimator as well, which is like shitty but awesome. Like,
I liked it.
You just want, Herbert West is just irresistible. You know, he's just as a character. You know, and obviously it has to be played by Jeffrey Combs. No one else could do it. But if you love Herbert Reanimator, it's just another 90 more minutes of him.
Of course.
You know, who can say no? It's great. But yeah, it doesn't touch.
And Star Trek goodness too.
Yeah, true. I love Jeffrey Combs. He's awesome. And we watched, my girlfriend and I watched Castle Freak.
That's good
and
too.
She loved that too.
Yeah.
That's a really good movie. I forgot how good that was. You know, the family breakdown, just like the castle being inhabited by this weird, you know, walking corpse essentially that's obsessed with the daughters. I don't know. I saw it when I was younger, and I was like, yeah, it was good. And then I watched it again last year, and I was like, fuck, that movie's fucking awesome. I should watch that again too, man. Yeah. I guess I should be taking notes right now.
Another one Brian Yuzna did. He did Silent Night, Deadly Night 4.
Yeah, he did.
It's that Clint Howard one. Yeah, where he's...
Clint Howard, the initiation. And then 5 is the Boy Maker.
It's like
5 is the one where Mickey Rooney's in it, and he's famous for quoting, Mickey Rooney had said, Silent Night, Deadly Night, I wish the director was here so I could punch him or something.
Yeah.
He said something awful because he was so upset about Santa being used in it. And then years later, he was in number 5.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. It just makes me think of that Simpsons episode where he's trying to get the part of Fall Out Boy at the end.
Yeah.
Lucky for us, we've got a perfectly good Fall Out Boy right here. And he's like 90, you know, great stuff. Yeah, he's in that fifth one. What was that?
They have Reggie Bannister in 4 too, which is awesome. But
yeah, I mean, obviously the namesake of the podcast, you must be Phantasm enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Phantasm 2, I think, is one of the great unheralded.
It really is. Love it. I love that movie.
It's so different from Phantasm.
Yeah.
And I did go to a screening of it here, and Don Coscarelli was there.
Yeah.
He spoke about it, and he had said, someone in the audience asked a cool question that didn't really occur to me. They said, do you think this movie influenced the TV show Supernatural?
Huh.
He's like, because it's 2 guys driving across town or across country in this vehicle with this badass trunk full of all the guns. And Supernatural has something similar on it.
Yeah.
I had watched a few episodes, enough to see the similarities, but I thought that was cool. Also, Brad Pitt was almost in it.
Huh.
And Coscarelli was talking about how, you know, if Brad Pitt had been in it, you know,
right.
Can you imagine, you know, if Brad Pitt was in Phantasm?
Yeah, they tried to get Bruce Campbell in it too, and apparently he didn't like the script that they gave him. It wasn't, I don't know, he was really weird about it or something. It's kind of interesting to read that stuff.
When I saw Intruder, I was one of the unfortunate people that saw Intruder under the impression that Bruce Campbell was the star.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was marketed to me. It was like Bruce Campbell and Ed Raimi or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's in it for like 6 seconds at the end. So I think halfway through I figured, like, this must be a mistake. Bruce Campbell must not be in this movie.
Right.
Or, like, if he is, he's hiding somewhere. Although that movie has some nutty kills in Intruder.
Yeah, that's great.
Grocery store. Oh, it's awesome. Some of the kills on we were fucking nuts. So it did redeem itself, but the whole time I was like, where the fuck is Bruce Campbell? I think he's like top billed on the DVD package.
Yeah.
You know how they do that movie Trick or Treat, not the one with Sam from the 2000s, but the 80s one with the
really
the
good
metal
one,
record or whatever.
With Ozzy and Gene Simmons.
Yeah, I've seen the DVD cover, and it's just pictures of Ozzy and Gene Simmons.
And Gene Simmons is in it more than Ozzy is, because
way more. Ozzy's in it for like a second.
Because he's like the disc jockey, When,
yeah, he's the guy that gives the kid the LP.
Yeah.
Go play or whatever. I forget the character's name. I think it was loosely based on
Sammy
Wasp.
Kerr. Yeah.
yeah, and I think it was supposed to be Wasp. I just actually Luke from the band Superstition played me the first Wasp record when we were on tour. I had never listened to it. I think I just assumed it was not going to be my thing because I thought it was some hair metal stuff. But that first Wasp record is freaking awesome, man.
No, Wasp is metal as fuck. Like, they're just really good.
That record's crazy.
Their first 3 albums are fucking awesome. Like, they're just
I'm only listening to the first 2. I got to listen to the third one. And then when we were on tour recently with A Feather and Bone and Ritual Necromancy, Kevin from Ritual Necromancy also plays in Weregoat. And I was talking about how good that Wasp record is, and he was like, yeah, we actually cover Fuck Like a Beast.
That's amazing.
Damn. So sick. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, good record. But yeah, I like Trick or Treat the movie. It's been a while since I've seen that, but I just think about that DVD cover where it's Ozzy and Gene. I was like, that's pretty stupid. They're not in the movie long. Yeah,
and the guy that actually plays Sammy Kerr, I mean, he was a dancer for a long-time dancer for Michael Jackson, but I guess he never really acted in much. So I mean, I guess that wouldn't have really
mattered.
Yeah, like as a grab, but I mean, it's still pretty cool, Yeah,
he's good in it. Like he's pretty he's entertaining for sure. As like the villainous evil singer guy. Like I don't know, it worked for me when I saw it. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I like the elements to it. It's like a metal horror movie, but it's almost loosely. It's just straight up, just like a good movie in general.
Yeah, it is good. It is good. It's one I avoided for a long time based on the videotape cover because I just thought it would be really cool. I thought it'd be really corny.
Yeah.
I liked rock music, but I was like, some horror movie. I think I had seen Rock and Roll Nightmare, which is another Canadian.
Yeah.
Which
that one's fun.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
It played here in theaters when we were on tour, actually, and I missed it.
Yeah.
And Steve, actually, was the guy who showed me Black Roses, the bass player in Twofold. He loves Black Roses.
Yeah.
That's a much better movie than Rock and Roll Nightmare, but those movies are just ridiculous. They're both Canadian films as well, so.
Right.
I think that's why I watched Rock and Roll Nightmare initially, because it was like some Canadiana thing. I was like, let's check out these Canadian horror films. That was one of them.
No,
I was not super impressed.
In Canada, what's like the number one, like that people are like, this is the horror movie that you know of?
The most like Canadian horror film?
As far as like what Canada sees as like the number one, like basically, filmed in Canada, it's like a Canadian horror movie.
Probably Videodrome.
Yeah.
Because the connection with that is the Civic TV thing, and it's set in Toronto.
Yeah.
It's actually based on something we have here called City TV, and at night City TV would do these, like, I think they were called like the Blue Light Special or something, where they play like softcore pornography.
Yeah.
And that was where Cronenberg got the idea, where he was like, wouldn't it be interesting to play these sexual snuff films at night, and it's these things that people are watching and they don't even realize what they're watching. They're watching this reality that's being sold to them as this fictional thing, but it blurs the line.
Yeah.
And there's some there's still a couple locations in Toronto that you can visit from Videodrome, but a lot of them are gone.
Yeah.
A couple from the Fly too, but the Videodrome's probably the most like, I would say, like Canadian horror film that I can say. And for me, My Bloody Valentine, because they are in Cape Breton drinking Moosehead beer, which is from New Brunswick, which is right beside Nova Scotia. So that's got a real Canadian feel to it.
Yeah, it's a great movie too.
Oh man, I think that movie is so awesome. Like, I just love it. It's so great. I didn't love the remake, but I didn't hate it either. It was okay.
It's kind of made for 3D, so they did a lot of shit just to make it a 3D scene. So it's kind of weird to watch it when it's not 3D, but it's always a bit of a stretch. Yeah.
There's another Canadian horror film that I remember seeing when I was younger and knowing it was Canadian, Ginger Snaps, which is really good.
Love that movie. It's so good.
It's very good. And then the editor from a few years ago was also Canadian.
Yep, the editor.
And then, Black Christmas as well. And Black Christmas uses the University of Toronto is in the start of the film, and then there's just a house at Bathurst and St. Clair, an intersection here from the film. So I guess those are the only ones that really jump out at me. Pretty much any Cronenberg stuff is filmed in Toronto.
Of course.
Rabbids filmed in Montreal or Quebec mainly.
Yeah.
But I'd say probably Videodrome is the one, because I think they don't try to camouflage the location. A lot of things are filmed in Canada and they try and say, oh, it's New York or this is Chicago or whatever. And that one is just, it's Canadian.
Yeah.
The Gate is Canadian too.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Another film that I really love. I know that one is Canadian. It's awesome. And there's a really weird one. What the fuck is it called? I saw it just last year for the first time. And because it was Canadian, I wanted to see it. Ritual. You know this movie?
I haven't seen that.
It's weird, man. I'd recommend it. It's kind of like, it reminded me of Deliverance a lot.
Yeah? That's like a backwoods thing.
Yeah, it's about a bunch of doctors on a camping trip. And they are being hunted by, some stuff. But it was weird. I liked it. It was cool, but definitely different. I had wanted to see that just because it was Canadian. I think it's from 1979 or something.
Yeah.
Curtains is Canadian too. That played here. That played in theaters when I was away, but they had a showing of Curtains, and I watched that for the first time a year or two ago too, and that was awesome. Really creepy. That mask is awful.
It is fucking nuts. It's like that old lady mask.
Scene, that ice skating scene. Jesus.
That's the iconic, one of the most iconic horror scenes.
How scary that would be.
Oh yeah.
It's spooky stuff. So yeah, man, probably Drome. Any Cronenberg stuff, Videodrome.
One of the Canadian things I grew up with watching was, I'm from New York, but Are You Afraid of the Dark was, Canadian.
Oh, dude. Are You Afraid of the Dark? There's still Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes that are, burned into my memory. The Tale of the Ghastly Grinner. Do you remember that one?
Yep.
The clown?
Oh, yeah.
The kids are, getting scared, and then they're laughing, and they're puking up that green stuff.
Yeah.
And then the Laughing in the Dark is the one with
That's
the
the best one, yeah.
It steals the note. Oh, fuck, man. That's
so
an
awesome.
amazing episode of TV. And it's 22 minutes. Maybe 23 minutes. They do so much with so little. There's also one, I forget the name of it, but it's a ghost inside of a swimming pool.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, and they pour a chemical in, and they finally see it, and it's a gory-looking, disgusting thing that comes out. It's really scary for children's television. They used to have this thing in Canada on YTV, which is our kids channel.
Yeah.
And they would have Fright Night or something once a year, and they showed 3 new Are You Afraid of the Dark, and 3 new Goosebumps or something. And I remember being so hyped for those. My parents would let me watch them. But yeah, a couple of those, man. That's a great show. I think they brought it back recently, but I think it's telling one serial story the whole time. I think
they did some kind of a movie, movie event thing where they remade like an episode. It looked pretty cool though, actually, for what it was. I mean, just to bring back the title of it and have the Midnight Society.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, especially if it gets people to watch the old one too, right? Because it's like, that's great stuff. It's funny what passes for children's entertainment 20 years ago versus now, though, because I feel like you couldn't get away with a lot of this stuff now. Like, I was 10 years old watching Are You Afraid of the Dark? Oh, that swimming pool episode is called The Tale of the Dead Man's Float. I had to look it up. Yeah, that one's fucking cool. I need to find a way to watch those again. Not sure if they're on any sort of streaming service here in Canada.
They might be on Amazon Video, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Pretty sure they were.
That's the kind of show I'd like to have on, like, Blu-ray.
Yeah. They might exist in Canada. I don't know about here. I don't think they do.
Maybe.
They're on DVD here, but yeah, I think Amazon Video might have them or something else. I know.
I think Amazon Video has another show that I loved as a kid, the Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Oh wow, with
Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, Jonathan Frakes. Yeah.
From TNG. Yeah. I was a huge Star Trek.
Oh right.
I was in a Star Trek club with a bunch of 40-year-olds when I was 10.
That's awesome.
It was like me, my other friend, and then like 10 40-year-olds, and we would meet at the YMCA. And I would just take I was obsessed. So when I saw Jonathan Frakes on Beyond Belief, it was combining two things I love, like a Star Trek actor and, you know, spooky stuff. Like there's an episode with a Ouija board that scared the shit out of me. Still kind of scares me.
Yeah.
But I know that's on Amazon. I should try and find a way to check that out. I would like to watch those episodes again. There's been some great memes of Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah. Yeah, lately they've been bringing it back. It's kind of cool because it's getting attention, because I used to watch that show, and now people are sharing the meme, and they're like, what's that show? It's like, dude, that's Beyond Belief. They're like, oh, man, I got to watch that now. You know. And
it was funny, because as a kid, I would be so invested. I would have a little notepad, and I would, like, write down which ones I thought were fact and which ones I thought were fiction. And I was always wrong. You know, as a kid, I was like, there's no way that's true.
Yeah. And
then Jonathan Frakes at the end would be like, oh, and the haunted airplane? That's true. I was like, what? No way! Like, so fuck, man. That's an awesome show. Because I watched that around the same time. I was for some reason, I was really obsessed with America's Most Wanted. I would watch that on Fox on Saturday night. Maybe because America's Most Wanted was scary, because they had those creepy reenactments.
Yeah.
And then they would tell you, they'd be like, this creep, you know, killed these two little kids. And you'd be like, that's horrible. And then it'd be like, he's still on the loose.
Yeah.
So
if you have any leads, please call. And you're like, oh.
And I was like, the idea that these people were just marauding around the streets ready to murder again, I was like kind of arrested to the television. You know, they're like, you know, I don't think it would age very well, but in my, you know, pre-teens, I was a real big fan of America's Most Wanted. I wanted the shirt so bad, but they wouldn't ship it to Canada.
Yeah.
It was like you could like call in and order a shirt, but they wouldn't send it to me. I bet that shirt would be awesome to have now, though.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Too bad.
Super cult, you know.
It would be pretty cool. I'd love to play a show where actually America's Most Wanted. It's got too many cops.
Yeah, right.
You know, fuck cops.
Yeah. You get that attention, like, dude, what? It's like, dude, the show was rad.
I'm actually a big fan of law enforcement.
Yeah, you don't want that attention, you know.
No thanks. Yeah. But as a kid, it was pretty cool. So
the show's cool, you know. It's like, dude, it's just about the show.
Imagine being like an actor or a writer doing the reenactments every week.
Yeah.
Because they're so low budget and they're so crazy. That must have been an insane job to be like a cameraman or a writer on these creepy reenactments where you have to reenact a family being murdered in their house or whatever.
Or thrown in like a garbage can in the garage, or, you know.
Yeah, and you have like a day to film it. That would be totally nuts. I think that guy can tell some stories. Yep.
It's good shit. Well, dude, this has been a lot of fun talking to you, and I've had a great time.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude. This has been awesome, and Planetary Clairvoyance, if you guys don't have it from Tomb Mold, it's been out for a while, so you should probably pick that up, catch these guys at a show, buy some of their sick-ass merch, and continue to support. And, man, I'm happy for your continued success, and hopefully you guys just keep on going. And, you know, what's next for Tomb Mold? Do you guys have anything coming up?
We have a show. We're playing Hostel Fest in December in New York City. And then we're not doing much. We're playing Migration Fest in Pittsburgh in August. And that's about it we have right now. But we might have one or two more things next year. But, I mean, there were 3 full-length albums in 3 years. So I think we're going to take a year off.
Yeah.
But we might do a show or two. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But, yeah, nothing too. This year was pretty heavy duty for us. So I think we're all a little burnt out. But, you know, we all have, like, jobs outside of the band, too. So it was... It was coming back from Europe and going right back to work was a real butt kicker for I think most of us. So
you're like, now I'm in this fucking reality again. Damn it, you know.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I came back to just an insane amount of work. And Max actually stayed in Europe. Max plays.
Oh wow.
He does music under the name Death Kneel. He plays like power electronics or noise, or I guess a lot of it's very ambient sounding now. I don't want to pigeonhole him into one genre, but he stayed for a while and did some more stuff. He had a real long trip. He's actually just coming back now, so he was there for a couple months.
Oh wow.
Now he'll be back to the grind, I'm sure, too, which is a rude awakening.
Yeah. Get back to the real thing. But yeah, dude, it's been awesome. Thank you for your time. We talked for almost 2 hours. That's pretty neat. So,
cool.
Talking about horror and, you know, it's just had a lot of fun, you know, and I'm glad.
Yeah, it was good.
You know, you guys play your shows, get your break, and we look forward to what's to come next.
Cool, man. Thank you. Thanks so much for having me on. It was fun. I don't usually do these interview things myself, but Derek was like, "Oh, Payson, he wants to talk about horror." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do that."
Yeah,
I'm definitely I like talking about metal too, but like horror is, I don't know. I feel like I certainly know more about that. So
yeah, definitely, man.
I'm always down to chat.
Well, yeah, I had a blast, and yeah, thank you for your time. This has been awesome.